A team of teenagers are flying the South African flag really, really high. They made aviation history last month after assembling a light aircraft themselves. They're heading to Egypt from Cape Town. Joining us in studio is support pilot Calvin Bishop, who's just come back from their latest pit stop in Zanzibar, and Agnes Kiamogetswe Semela, who's dropped off after the stop in Zimbabwe. She didn't drop off. She, walked off the plane in Zim. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me in studio. First of all, Calvin, let me talk to you first. You're 21 years old. You're the safety pilot. Are you flying yet?
Yeah,
21?
I'm flying.
You're flying?
I've been flying for about 2 years now.
Wow, that's fantastic. At 21. Okay, so you were on the flight from Zim to Zanzibar.
Yes.
How did that go?
Oh, it was amazing. It was absolutely the best experience I've had.
Okay, what did you learn from this experience? Because this is what this is all about, isn't it?
Oh, basically just how to work together as a team, and I learned a lot about aviation and flying in general.
Okay. Agnes, let me come to you. You are 15 years old, correct? You're turning 16 this year. You were on the trip from South Africa to Zim. Were you sitting in that little plane?
Indeed, I was actually in the back seat of that little plane, and I flew the South African leg. So I flew with them from Teddingfield. We flew to Mossel Bay, then from Mossel Bay to Cape Town, then from Cape Town to Lüderitz, and then from Lüderitz to Sossusvlei. Then from Sossusvlei to Windhoek, and then from Windhoek I flew with them to Vic Falls. So.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I've flown in these little planes, and when they hit an air pocket, the plane just drops. Am I lying? How did you feel? Is that scary for you though?
No, not at all. I'm so used to it now.
Yeah, because the plane literally just drops, doesn't it, in an air pocket?
I remember something sort of similar happened to me. So then I was sleeping in the plane. I can't remember when. But as I was sleeping, I don't know what they did, but then they dropped the plane all of a sudden. And I was floating around in the back, and I was like, ah! Yeah,
you literally float, and your head hits the top of the...
Your head hits the top.
The top of the... whatever the cover of the plane, I don't know what to call it. Yeah.
So my first experience with that wasn't really that good, but otherwise I got used to it.
And what have you learned? Because this is all about getting South African youth to also understand the continent, isn't it? What did you get from this flight?
So from this flight, I actually learned a lot. Like actually from the beginning, like from the selection day. I learned how to work in a team and everything. But with the flying, I actually learned the diversity of Africa. Not only Africa. I didn't experience the whole of Africa, but I experienced, a little piece of it. I got to see the world. Not only I had to had a taste of flying on my own. Not only on my own, coming back commercially on my own and stuff like that. Not only that, I learned a lot when we were busy sitting in the airplane about aviation while Megan and everyone when they were talking to the air controller and stuff like that. So I got a bit of info on the aviation genre and stuff like that. But that I learned a lot,
Well, these pictures is when you guys were actually assembling the plane. You got bits and pieces of this plane, and you put this plane together. Explain to us some of the crew, some of the guys we're seeing here, some of the young men and women we're seeing here.
So they were different. We were from diverse backgrounds, from almost each and every we had different genders, different races, different cultures, and everything. So we came together and we assembled this team, this plane. We got there and there were 5 boxes on the floor. And when we walked in, these 5 people they were massive, And when we walked in, we were like, okay, this is gonna be easy. I'm assuming 2 of the 5 boxes have wings, and then one has a tail, one has a cockpit, and one has what do you call it? A propeller. A propeller. Yeah. So then we thought, oh, this is going to be easy. But then as soon as we opened the boxes, we found small pieces in the size of our hands. And I was like,
I think they call them the screws that you have to put everything together. What next now for, the flight itself? Because you still haven't made it to Cairo yet.
Well, as far as I know, they're on the way to Nairobi now. And when I was leaving there, we were having a little bit of issues with clearances getting into Nairobi itself. So I've been in contact with the team, but I'm not too sure if they have left Zanzibar yet.
Okay. You're the safety pilot. What does that entail?
So basically, I'm just there to help out the team and the teenage pilots if they need help or if they have any questions, and just make sure they're keeping it up to standard and regulations when it comes to flying.
Have there been any issues in terms of, are you worried in terms of some of the territories that you're landing in terms of safety?
Not really. I mean, Drian and Megan, they're really good pilots, so I'm not really worried about the flying, as to say, but more about the clearances and stuff like getting into the next country and so on.
Okay. Agnes, 15 years old, or 16. When all this is done, you're going to encourage other young South Africans to get on their bike and go and see the rest of the continent, yes?
Indeed, definitely. That's like part of my plan. Definitely going to try and talk to people, you know, and inspire them and motivate them to like try new things in life. I mean, that's what got me here in the first place, you know, trying new stuff. Because my parents believe it's good for a child to be like exposed to different types of stuff before you settle on your thing, whatever you want to do in life. So definitely
100%. Agnes Siamela, you flew from South Africa, Namibia, and then Zim, and also Calvin Bishop, co-pilot and safety pilot, just 21 years old. That trip from Cape to Cairo is continuing. It's South African teenagers, a group of teenagers who assembled a light aircraft and are flying it from Cape to Cairo, and then